Throughout history, we, as humans, have used the power of our minds to achieve incredible and amazing feats. In reality, our minds are simply tools we use to create our thoughts. And the quality of our thoughts determines the quality of our experiences. A simple shift in perception will quickly and easily improve how you feel and what you believe is possible, helping you to achieve all of your personal goals, even those that previously seemed unattainable. Join us now as we explore the vast landscapes of our minds. This is Mind Over Matter.
Good evening, I'm Mitch Friedman, and welcome to Mind Over Matter TV, where we like to teach you different tools and techniques and, yeah, sometimes even tricks for you to overcome the obstacles in your life, to feel better, and to reach all your goals. And we're going to do that today with a good friend of mine, Mark Van Der Gaag. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure, yeah. We just took a really great hike. Mark's from Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we went for a really nice hike up into we're filming on location in Santa Fe today, so we took a hike up into the Santa Fe mountains up behind the ski basin, and boy, wasn't it beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. Beautiful day.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's December already. I know. We need to get snow. I want this to be a white Christmas and get everybody in the Christmas mood and the holiday spirit. But boy, I'm definitely digging this 55 degree weather.
Same here.
Can't complain about that. Yeah. So Mark is a core power coach, which I love that name. It's just the name is so empowering. Core power coach. Yeah, pretty cool. So tell us a little bit, what is a core power coach?
Okay, well, I kind of coined that name because the work I do is really about helping people get down to their core essence. So I coach people in their life and meeting their goals in their life, in a relationship or career or whatever it is. But the primary work is really getting to your core, where you are all powerful and really all knowing at your core. We tend to heap all these false cells on top of our core, and so we get a little confused and not really clear about what we want or our ability to create it. So it's about kind of shedding some of that and getting to the core, to the essence, where you have access to your creative power.
Yeah, I love that. I like to think of that as peeling away the onion.
Right. Exactly.
To get down to the core, you know.
Right. The core is where we're actually all connected too. So not only do you have access to your own creativity and your own truth, but you have access to the network. And so when you're in the core, you draw things more easily into your life. You get clear about what you want, and that network works for you. So it's where we're all connected.
Isn't it funny? We think, it's what we all want. Don't you think what we all want is to be connected, and
Absolutely.
And everything we do is in contrast to that. We keep ourselves so separate by wearing these masks and by putting on these layers of who we're not, Yeah,
we live sort of this artificial lifestyle where we're separate and, autonomous, and it's really not the truth of who we are. And so we all are yearning to be more connected, to be in true union, which we really are. You can't ever really be separated, but we live in this illusion as if we are, and then we feel lonely and empty, and we're all yearning to reconnect.
Even in relationship, I hear people say, they've been in a relationship and they still feel lonelier than they've ever felt in their lives. So how can that happen? I make up a little bit that it's about feeling separate and some of those layers of stuff that we put on.
Right. Well, we try to protect ourselves in relationships. The very thing we're trying to create, we defend against. So we're trying to create this union, and then when we get close, the closer we get, the more we feel this need to sort of protect ourselves and have this experience like we're separate or autonomous. So, we want to set boundaries and, establish our perimeter and who we are and what we want, what we need, which is good. There's a place for that. But the deeper truth, the real truth, is that we want to be really fully united, really know each other, deeply, intimately know each other. That's our real goal, though we're we're afraid of it at the same time. So we, on one hand, we're pulling it in. On the other hand, we're defending against it.
I know I have clients come to me all the time and they say, more than anything in the whole world, I want to meet my soulmate, and that always cracks me up, Mark, because
Right.
I always laugh. And what's so funny about that? Relationship is work.
Right.
Relationship
It's an
is a lot of work. And when you ask for your soulmate, I make up, this is the world according to Mitch, of course, is that the person we're asking for is the person that's going to challenge everywhere that we're out of alignment with that divine nature, with that oneness, with love.
Absolutely. They're our place, our touchstone. That's the place where we learn to prove who we really are. But the work isn't really, most of us look at it like the work is on the other person. My job is to work on them. But the work is on self. And always the work is about how do I open my heart and how do I love. And from a masculine perspective, that love is about penetrating or being the force that keeps moving forward, right? You're either, as the masculine, you're either moving forward or pulling back. And as the feminine, you're either opening up or closing down, either opening or contracting. So the feminine, the positive feminine, when it's loving, is opening and expanding and creating this deep receptive place, right? The masculine, when it's really loving in a positive way, is moving forward and deeper and deeper and deeper into the other person. So that's the real work. How do I continue to move forward and deeper into somebody even when I hurt? Or even when something they've said or done I've interpreted in a way that I feel hurt, right? Because the tendency is for a man or for the masculine is to recoil, pull back. And for the feminine is to close down. And there's, nothing more powerful than the feminine opening up. It is the most powerful force. It is the receptive force. And it's the environment in which we all are contained. So you have a very feminine woman walks in the room fully open-hearted. She can transform a room, right? Mm-hmm. She is the vast. She's all there is, infinite opening. The masculine is the focused, determined force, and that has a place too. Not necessarily equally as powerful as the feminine, but powerful in its own way, to penetrate. And a man or a person who's fully, strongly in their masculine essence has the ability to open up the feminine, right? Just by being really present and really fully there. Creates that safety for the feminine to open up and to kind of push through the resistance and open up. But it's actually much easier for the feminine to open up, the masculine, or call the masculine forward by opening up, because it's so vast you just spill right into it, right? You have a core essence that is your truth, your true self. And for most men, their essence is going to be masculine. For most women, the essence is going to be feminine. Now, there's 20% of women that's not going to be true for, and 20% of men. But for the most part, that's how it is. The masculine has a way of, let's say you're 6 or 7 years old and you're being a boy, you're being really in your masculine, and you're kind of being rambunctious all over the house, and your mom starts screaming at you. There's a good chance that you will adopt a way of being to stop her from screaming at you, or to continue loving you, which is really what's happening, that will look more feminine. So you sort of adopt this feminine way of being, unknowingly, really, as a way to fit in or to be safe or be loved, and then it's a sort of a false self. In a way, it teaches you how to access the feminine, but we sort of adopt it as a way to protect ourselves, and then it becomes hard to see past it, and it becomes sort of this shell. Then you move on a little further into, let's say, teenage years, and you're in high school, and the guys start making fun of you for being too feminine or whatever it is, and then you...
Too sensitive. Too
sensitive, right. And then you heap on another self, a masculine self that's also sort of a false self on top of that is more, sort of a hard masculine or a negative masculine as a way to fit in or be tough. And then, throughout life, you just keep heaping on these false selves, and you have to kind of get through all of that. Women do it too. You got to get past all that to get down to the core essence so that we can interact in a dynamic way that keeps love flowing, right? So the idea is there has to be opposite poles for the energy to flow from one to the other. If you don't have that, the energy flattens, or it comes too close together and it flats, it doesn't move, so we're not impassioned or happy, joyful. So, it's that protection, all those things that we heap on ourselves that kind of winds up getting in our way and stops us,
Well, it sounds like all that stuff that we're putting on ourselves keeps us, I call it a mask. It keeps us from really being authentic. And how can you actually have a relationship if you're not being authentic and you're wearing this feminine mask, and then you take that off? And I mean, it just seems so confusing to me now. I know I hear women all the time say, you know what, I really want a guy who's really sensitive and who we can talk about all this cutesy, sweet stuff, you know? And then they get a guy who wants to talk about all this sweet stuff, and then now that guy's weak
Right.
because he's too sensitive.
Right.
So it's almost like nobody can win,
Right.
you know?
Right.